In Africa, they say, if a cobra bites you, you pray for a cure. If a black mamba bites you, you pray for a swift death. This is not just a snake. It is primal fear embodied in 10 feet of muscular, gray scales. They call it the shadow of death, and it is the only creature in the savannah that even lions sometimes flee from. Today, we look into the eyes of the fastest and most aggressive killer on the continent. We will dissect every milligram of its venom and discover why an encounter with one is almost always a final act. Why black? The anatomy of fear. The first mistake many make is looking for a coal-black snake. In reality, the skin of a black mamba is the color of wet asphalt, olive, or metallic gray. It earned its name from the interior of its mouth. When a mamba feels threatened, it gapes its jaws, revealing an abyss the color of ebony. This is its final warning. It is one of the longest venomous snakes in the world, second only to the king cobra. Adults can reach lengths of 14.5 feet. It is slender, light, and incredibly agile. Unlike heavy pythons, the mamba is an athlete. It can lift a third of its body off the ground, looking an adult human directly in the eyes. Most snakes are slow on open ground. Not the mamba. It is capable of reaching speeds of up to 12 miles per hour. That is faster than the average person runs during a casual jog. In the thick grass or brush of the savannah, you won't even see it coming. It doesn't just slither, it glides across the surface, barely touching the earth. The mamba uses its speed not just for hunting, but to cut off an enemy's retreat. If it decides you are a threat, the distance between you will vanish in a fraction of a second. Now, let's talk about its weapon. The black mamba produces an incredibly potent cocktail of neurotoxins and cardiotoxins. It takes only 15 to 20 milligrams to kill a grown human. Yet, in a single strike, a mamba can inject up to 400 milligrams. That is enough to kill 20 people or a full-grown giraffe. Its venom is a chemical masterpiece of evolution. It attacks the nervous system instantly. Unlike viper venom, which slowly destroys tissue causing pain and swelling, mamba venom works cleanly. It blocks the transmission of signals from the brain to the muscles. The first symptom is a slight tingling in the lips and fingers, followed by double vision. Then comes the total paralysis of the respiratory muscles. You remain conscious, but unable to take a single breath. Without immediate medical intervention, death occurs within 20 minutes. Most venomous snakes deliver one quick strike and retreat, waiting for the venom to take effect. But the black mamba plays by different rules. If it decides to attack, it does so in series. In a single bout of aggression, a mamba can strike up to 12 times in rapid succession. It literally stitches the victim's body with its teeth, injecting a fresh dose of the lethal cocktail with every hit. This isn't just hunting. It is the total elimination of any perceived threat. Its fangs are small, only about 6 millimeters, but they are positioned at the front of the mouth on a mobile bone. This allows the mamba to strike from incredible angles. It can hit you in the leg, and a second later in the chest or face, simply by rearing up the front of its body. Unlike many snakes that are wanderers, the black mamba is a creature of habit. It has a home. This could be an abandoned termite mound, a hollow tree, or a crevice in the rocks. It may live in the same spot for years, and it considers the surrounding area its personal property. If you accidentally find yourself between a mamba and its burrow, it won't flee. It will perceive this as an act of war. The mamba doesn't wait for you to step on it. It can feel the vibration of your footsteps from dozens of meters away. Its strategy is the preemptive strike. It rears up, spreads a small hood, similar to a cobra but narrower, and emits a hiss that sounds more like red-hot iron hitting water. If you hear this sound, you are already in the death zone. In the African wild, few dare to challenge an adult mamba. Even the honey badger, the fearless tank of the savannah, will think thrice before engaging one. However, the mamba does have enemies. The most dangerous is the mongoose. This fast, agile predator possesses a partial immunity to neurotoxins. A battle between a mongoose and a mamba is a lethal dance. One miss by the snake means a crushed spine. One successful bite by the mamba, and even the mongoose's immunity won't save it from such a massive dose of venom. Large birds of prey, like the secretary bird, also hunt mambas. They use their long legs to pin the snake's head to the ground before it can rise to strike. But for most animals in Africa, the golden rule is, if you see a gray shadow, run the other way. What does a person feel after the kiss of a black mamba? It is not like a viper bite, where the pain is searing and immediate. Mamba venom is insidious. At first, you might only feel a slight prick. But within minutes, a cascade of destruction begins. The first symptom is a metallic taste in the mouth and tingling in the lips. These are the neurotoxins beginning to shut down your receptors. Then your eyelids grow heavy. This is ptosis. The eye muscles simply stop obeying. Your vision becomes blurred. Next come nausea and a cold sweat. But the most terrifying part happens inside. The venom blocks the diaphragm. You try to inhale, but your lungs will not expand. You are fully conscious. You hear the voices of people nearby. You realize you are dying, but you cannot move even a pinky finger to give a sign. Without antivenom and a ventilator, the heart stops due to suffocation. In Africa, this process is known as the death sleep. Countless myths surround the black mamba. One of the most popular is that a mamba can chase a person for miles to seek revenge. Is it true? The short answer is no. The mamba is a predator, not a maniac. It uses its energy rationally. However, there is a catch. If you startle a mamba and run in the direction of its burrow, it will bolt in the same direction. Because of its incredible speed, it will seem as though it is hunting you specifically. Furthermore, the mamba is highly territorial. If you cross the boundary of its nest, it may escort you for several dozen meters, striking as it goes. This is not revenge, it is aggressive defense. Can one survive a black mamba bite without antivenom? The statistics are grim. Before the invention of the serum, the mortality rate was nearly 100%. However, history knows cases of miraculous escapes. One of the most famous incidents involved wildlife photographer Mark Lyda. During a shoot, a mamba bit him on the leg. Mark knew he had only minutes. He did not panic, which slowed the spread of the venom through his bloodstream. He was rushed to the hospital, where he spent several days on a ventilator in a state of total paralysis. He survived to tell that death by a mamba feels like being buried alive inside your own body. For many tribes of sub-Saharan Africa, the black mamba is more than just a reptile. It is a mystical being endowed with malevolent intelligence. In certain cultures of Zimbabwe and South Africa, it is believed that the mamba is an embodied curse. If a mamba settles near a village, it is taken as a sign of divine wrath. There is a widespread belief that a mamba can remember the faces of its enemies. Legends tell of hunters who tried to kill a snake but missed, only for the mamba to wait for months by their doorstep for revenge. While biology does not support this, the myth highlights the profound level of respect and terror this creature commands. It is the only snake credited with the capacity for vengeance. An encounter with a black mamba is a test of self-control. Most fatalities occur not because of the snake's inherent malice, but because of human panic. If you spot a mamba that has reared up and gaped its black mouth, you are already in its crosshairs. It perceives any sudden movement as an attack. The best thing you can do is freeze. The mamba has excellent motion-oriented vision. If you become part of the landscape, there is a chance it will choose to retreat rather than engage. Attempting to kill a mamba with a stick or a machete is almost a guaranteed death sentence. It is faster than your swing. It can strike above the knee, in the thigh, or even the torso simply by straightening its muscular body. In Africa, they say, if you see a mamba, give it the road. It has already earned it. What to do after a bite? If the worst happens and a mamba's fangs touch your skin, a race against time begins. No tourniquets. Unlike viper venom, where a tourniquet might save a limb, with a mamba bite, it can be deadly by concentrating toxins that later surge to the heart. Apply a firm pressure bandage, like for a sprain, and splint the limb. The key is not to move. Every muscle contraction acts as a pump, accelerating the neurotoxins through the lymphatic system. The only salvation, only polyvalent antivenom works. Without it, survival chances drop to near zero. In modern Africa, networks of antivenom stations are established, but even with treatment, patients often require weeks of rehabilitation to breathe on their own again. We are used to seeing black mamba venom as a death sentence. But for modern medicine, it is a literal treasure trove. Scientists have discovered that this toxic cocktail contains unique proteins called mammalgens. Research shows that mammalgens can block pain as effectively as morphine, but without the side effects like addiction or respiratory depression. Certain components of the venom help us understand how neural pathways work in the human brain. This offers hope for developing treatments for dementia and paralysis. Thus, the creature associated with death may become the key to saving millions of lives in the future. If the black mamba were to disappear tomorrow, Africa would face a catastrophe. The mamba is the perfect regulator of rodent and small mammal populations. Without it, rats and mice would multiply exponentially, destroying crops and spreading epidemics. It sits at the top of the reptile food chain, maintaining a balance that has formed over millions of years. The mamba does not kill for sport, it kills to survive, and in doing so, it keeps the savannah stable. The black mamba is the symbol of wild, untamed Africa. It reminds us that humans are not the ultimate masters of nature. In the high grass of the savannah, there are still forces that cannot be controlled and know no mercy. We fear the mamba because it is faster than us, deadlier than us, and completely indifferent to our status. But within that fear, respect is born. Respect for the evolution that created such a perfect defense mechanism. Respect for a life that can be extinguished by a mere 20 milligrams. The next time you hear of the black mamba, remember, it is not just a snake. It is a masterpiece of nature, a living legend, and the shadow that guards the secrets of a vast continent.